It's Samia Khan here with your Fox 10 News Now update. Okay, I'm gonna put off the news for a little bit because I want to sit here and talk with racing legend Michael Waltrip. Thank you so much for joining me.
Sure, it's good to be on.
Oh, so we have a lot of fans that are tuning in from all parts of the country, not just here in Phoenix, but sometimes we have viewers tuning in as far as London, Dubai, all over the place. I've been asking them to submit their questions to you, and I've copied and pasted a few of them, and a lot of them are just really excited to tune in. So let me just go ahead and pull up some of their questions now. So Rachel Favela is a really big fan. She's a loyal viewer. She's really asked like 10 questions already. Just really eager to ask you a few questions, saying this is probably the most exciting thing ever because ever since her husband died, she hasn't had a source to get NASCAR information. So this is like the most exciting thing for her ever. And she's watching and she wants to know, well, first of all, she wants to tell you that her mother-in-law, who was very near death with pneumonia, always cheered for you during every race. So
Well, that means a lot to me, so thank you.
And she does have very specific NASCAR questions. For example, what is Harvick's chance on winning another championship?
Wow. Right now, he would be the favorite. I think Vegas has Jimmy Johnson as the odds-on favorite, but Kevin Harvick is on such a roll. He won last week in Las Vegas. He's coming to a track here in Phoenix that he won both races last year. So I think you're going to have to start beating Kevin Harvick a little bit more and if you want to say that you're going to win the championship. But between Harvick and Jimmy Johnson, those are probably the two guys you want to keep your eye on.
Awesome. Okay, and before I go to any more of your questions, let's just talk about you for a moment. What brought you out to Phoenix? There's a big race this weekend, right?
Yeah, definitely. NASCAR. I've been coming here since 1988, I think was the first time we raced here, and I was on the track then, and I raced on the track all the way until 2009, and since then I've been a part of the Fox broadcast team. So my job is to report to the fans watching on Fox what I see on the track and hopefully entertain them and inform them so that they can enjoy watching the race on TV. I love coming to Phoenix, so this is one of the best venues during the course of the whole season. The energy here is just intense because we don't come west that often with the NASCAR race cars, but when we do, we come to a place like Phoenix in early March, and it's just perfect weather.
Yeah, exactly. Early March is the time to come to Phoenix. You don't come to Phoenix in July.
They come from Wyoming and all over, Nevada, Oregon, Canada. Folks come down to watch the cars here in Phoenix, and you can just feel that vibe. You can feel the energy, and it's fun for a race car driver. It makes you want to race a little bit harder.
Right. So you would put Phoenix on the top of the list?
I would put it up there pretty high. Daytona would be the top of my list forever.
Right.
It's my favorite racetrack, and having won there before is really special. I almost won in Phoenix once in 2005. We finished second to another guy and almost won, but not quite. I always love coming here, though.
Yeah, it is a nice place to vacation, too.
Yeah, definitely. I play a little golf already.
Really?
Climbed that big
Camelback?
mountain. Yeah, went up that thing.
How long have you been in town?
Since Monday.
Okay, so you've been getting all the sights and...
I told you I'm serious about Phoenix.
Are you going to move here?
I love it.
Are you going to move? It's a great place to retire down the road.
I'd have to be rich enough to have two houses because I ain't going to be here in July. I'll just tell you that. I'll be here in November when the races are, and in March when they are, and maybe all in between.
Like November to about April.
April's good?
I think so.
Okay.
I just moved here in November from Los Angeles, so I haven't experienced the extreme heat yet.
Well, good luck.
All right, let's move on to a couple more viewer questions. Jeff Hastings is asking, I'd like to know Michael's opinion on how NASCAR restrictions have limited a driver's ability to perform.
They haven't. I think NASCAR says, "Have at it, boys." There's a video even that you can YouTube. It's "Have at it, boys, have at it," or something like that. I don't know, and it's just shows how the gloves have come off. And NASCAR said, if you guys can handle it on the track, handle it. And we saw a bunch of intense action last year as we raced through the chase. The chase last year was the new format where you had to win to basically advance. And we saw a lot of heated battles on the track down in Texas. Keselowski and Jeff Gordon got together. Other great battles during the course of the season, and it wound up with Kevin Harvick having to win the last two races of the season to be champion. And I think NASCAR got everything they wanted out of the new chase format.
Got it. Actually, you mentioned Jeff Gordon. Jeff also asked, is Michael involved with Gordon at all in the track that Jeff's helping build in Columbus, Ohio? I heard it's going to be short track like Bristol.
I'm doing a track in Columbus, Ohio. I think he's doing a track in Canada somewhere.
Oh, maybe you got it confused.
Yeah,
then.
but we're building a track in Columbus, Ohio. It's just over 3/8 of a mile. It's a short track, and looking forward to continuing the process of developing it. We've designed the track, and now we're getting all the infrastructure built in so we can start building the track itself.
Right, and if we have any viewers at all that maybe are aspiring race car drivers, do you have any advice for them? And were you terrified at first, or was it just like, I need to do this?
Oh, I wanted to do it so bad I couldn't breathe. It was all I dreamed of when I was a kid. When I was born, my brother was 16 years old, and that meant he was on the road. He was racing, and I grew up watching him race, and I wanted to do that same thing. So if you're an aspiring race car driver, I hope you're 5. Because nowadays with virtual racing you can get online and you can drive actually at Daytona. You can run the very tracks we run, and so that's such an advantage for young kids these days. Maybe when you're 5 or 6 you can even get a go-kart or a small vehicle that you can start racing. The sooner you start, the better, because nowadays NASCAR's lowered the age in the truck series to where you can be 16 to race. Last year, 2 16-year-olds won.
Wow.
That tells you kids are ready to go.
Right.
They've done all their training online, and they've graduated to go-karts or Legends cars and late models, and when they get to be 15, 16 years old, they're comp ready. And it was really impressive to watch these kids come out and beat the old guys.
So you're saying if you're 4 or 5 years old, just get the video games.
Yeah, if you're 4 or 5 years old, it's not too late. Don't panic. It's
so you
time.
need to start at 3.
If you start at 3, that's good. But if you're 4 or 5, you're not. It's not too late.
Jonathan Blinn is chiming in from Texas. He says, "Hi, Michael. What's your favorite NASCAR memory?"
Oh.
It's just people following on Twitter.
It's
a good sound to hear.
No, that was my memory dinging. My favorite NASCAR memory was probably winning the All-Star race in 1996. I went to drive for the famous Wood Brothers, and my friend Dale Earnhardt had gotten me the ride with the Wood Brothers. He told him, he said, put him in your car and he'll win. And it was just a third of the way through the 1996 season. We went to the big All-Star race in Charlotte, and we were able to win. And then Dale's really was all, he liked to say, I told you so. And he told the Wood Brothers, I told you so. And then later, Dale hired me to drive his car. So I think that probably starts a lot of memories, and that's one of my favorites.
Yeah, I have a question, and this is just from what I see. Obviously, you're driving really fast. Before going into it, was there ever, any advice on how to avoid crashing, or was that ever a concern at all, like your safety?
Yeah. When I was a kid, growing up, you didn't think about your safety.
Right, kids don't think about that.
You're fine.
They jump off trees all the time.
And then when I started racing in NASCAR back in the 80s, some of my buddies, 80s, 90s, all the way, up through when I was coming up as a racer, I had friends that died racing, and so that was a real wake-up call to you to know what could possibly happen, but it really never adversely affected me. I just said, I'm going to buckle in, pull my belts down, and go race my car, and I have faith that I'll be fine. And so there was some tough times through the years, losing friends, particularly Dale Earnhardt, who I was driving for the day that I won the Daytona 500, and Dale was killed. And so nowadays, the focus is so much on safety to try to make sure that never happens again. And we've seen some hard crashes this year, and Kyle Busch broke a leg and a foot down in Daytona. So we have to continue to improve safety, and I know NASCAR has that on the front of their mind, and that's exactly what the process we're going through is, trying to figure out how we can make tracks even safer than they are now. The cars are amazing. They are just, they're so tough, and the seats we sit in, you're just so confined, and you feel really safe when you feel like you're in a capsule.
What's a minimum speed that you go? What's the slowest you're allowed to go?
It depends on
I don't mean like when you slow down.
Yeah, it depends on what track you're at. Like Daytona, we run 200.
Yeah. Oh, God.
At Phoenix this weekend, the top speeds will probably be 175 down in the corner, which is crazy on a mile track. The slowest track we run is Martinsville, where the average speed's about 110, I think. And so you get down to 60 or so. So you'd be comfortable there, right?
I think so. This is actually a probably more important question. Given that you are a race car driver, when you're in a normal car on a normal freeway, over time, how many speeding tickets have you gotten?
I haven't gotten one in a really long time. It's been a long time.
You control yourself.
I totally control myself. I have a nice Toyota Camry. And if you think about Toyota Camrys, it used to look like it was your grandma's car or something. But my
mom has one.
My Camry's sporty. This is a NASCAR Camry.
Do you have the little?
It's got fins and wings on it, nice wheels. And then I'm getting like 40 miles to the gallon. So I'm really happy in my car. And I like to look at the driving down the road is we're all in this together.
Sure.
In a race, we're trying to beat each other. But when we're going to work, we're just trying to get there.
Yeah.
So if somebody cuts me off,
You're okay with it,
you know,
there.
they must need to get there worse than I do.
You know what? It would be interesting to be the driver that cut you off and not realize who they're cutting off.
But I don't get. One thing that gets my pet peeve of all life is road rage. Like, I don't get it. Don't get mad. Just get where you're going. Just think that person that cut you off might be late for work for the third time, and they might get fired, and they got 3 kids at home.
That's a great perspective.
Give them a break.
Well, absolutely, because we have stories. I mean, we've covered terrible stories on the news. We have stories where road rage leads to death.
Yeah, and
it's terrible.
It's unnecessary.
Right.
Just take a breath.
Yeah.
I hope
this
resonate. Let's just let this bake
this
for a
is
minute.
a PSA for everyone out there. There's a lot of people submitting more questions. Earlier, you had mentioned the death of Dale Earnhardt. This goes back to one of Rachel's questions. Samia, can you ask him his opinion on how he thinks Junior stays so strong after losing his dad?
It's just, his dad lost his life doing what he loved to do, and Dale Jr. knows that. And Dale Jr. is a special person. He's able to continue to do what he loves to do, and is thankful for that. But I mean, there's deep moments when you reflect on the loss of any loved one that it hurts. But you deal with it at home, and you deal with it personally, and then you go out and do your job. And I think that's exactly what I do all the time, and I know that's what Dale Jr. does as well.
Right. Okay, more questions. Robert Schreck asking, Michael Waltrip, do you miss suiting up for the big races on the weekend?
I get to race every now and then. I ran the Daytona 500 a couple of weeks ago, which was awesome. And I still have a couple of other races out there for me. So when you get old, it's important to have something to look forward to. And so getting to race every now and then is something that I really look forward to. And I'll get to do that hopefully for the next couple of years at least. We're still competitive and can still run up front on the races that I choose to do. So I'm going to keep doing it.
Are you ever going to stop? Is there going to be a day where you just stop racing?
Ever is a long time. So I don't foresee that day right now. I don't want to foresee it. I don't want to think about that day.
Right. And even when you're not racing on a regular basis, you're still involved in NASCAR
definitely.
on Fox.
Yeah, I love NASCAR on Fox. It's so much fun to bring the inside stories to the fans and to understand by looking at what I see on the racetrack, what's going on, and be able to relate that to the folks at home watching.
Right. Here's Alfredo's question. Is NASCAR trying to do anything to make it more diverse to potential fans or new drivers?
I think it's diversifying every day. When I first showed up, it was very rare that an African American kid or a Hispanic kid would come up and ask me for my autograph.
Right.
Now you see that at every racetrack. And we have Danica Patrick, a lady that drives, a woman that drives on our circuit as well. So. And there's Hispanic racers, there's African American racers. We have a very, very vibrant and diverse garage area, and that will just continue. And it's a lot because of programs like this, where you and I can sit and talk about NASCAR all across the world.
Right.
In the same way with NASCAR on Fox, the fact that the folks can tune into Fox Sports 1 or Fox Sports 2 and watch all the practices and all the qualifying sessions and all the races. When I was a kid, in like 1975, we used to have to drive an hour from our house, my mom and I, to listen to the races on the radio.
Wow.
I mean, can you imagine that? So you had to really want to know about NASCAR.
You can do everything on your phone anywhere.
I can watch practice on Fox Sports Go.
You can literally do everything on your phone.
Yeah.
The internet, any fan, no matter where you are in the world, can Google.
So it doesn't matter your
race.
ethnicity. You can see NASCAR.
Right.
And that's why it'll continue to diversify.
Right. Jay Deering is asking, you actually just mentioned her, what are your thoughts on Danica Patrick?
I just love her spirit. I love her commitment and her passion. And she's had some amazing runs. She's finished up in the top 10, top 5 racing, so I think she just continues to do her gig and get better and better, and hopefully she can get into a position where she can consistently run in the top 10 and start threatening for wins.
By the way, if you guys submitted a question earlier and I skipped it, can you retype it? Because so many of you guys are typing at once that I missed it and I have to keep going back.
Someone wrote "Go Cubs." I don't think that has anything to do with me.
That's funny. Jay, let's see. Jonathan Blinn was asking, what was your favorite race? What was your favorite race you were ever in?
Like I said, the 1996 All-Star race was pretty special. The 2001 Daytona 500 was a bittersweet day. It was more than bittersweet. It was the best day of my life and the worst day of my life at the same time when I won and Dale was killed. So if you talk about significant days, you can't not talk about that day. But there's been a lot of fun times. I won a nationwide race, or an Xfinity race, excuse me. I won an Xfinity race for my dad, and I thought it might have been about his last race that he had ever attended because he was sick with cancer, and I won, and just a few months later he passed. So that was special. So I have a lot of them. Mostly, some wins are just fun. They were just really cool, like the night we won the Xfinity race at Bristol, and we did it with a car we built behind my house. A couple of my buddies took it up there, and we won in NASCAR, and so we just celebrated. That was a fun win, and a lot of the wins are emotional.
Right. Let's see. Good morning, Michael. You and DW are two of my favorites. Kathy K says, what are your thoughts on NASCAR setting the precedence for pro sports on domestic violence claims?
I think NASCAR did a great job in handling that tough situation.
Right.
They followed what the court of Delaware, the family court up there, decided to do, and went with them on that. And then when no charges were filed, they made sure that Kurt was on a road to recovery, so that he could follow the guidelines set out by NASCAR. And now he's been reinstated, and I'm happy that he's back, and I'm happy the way that NASCAR handled that tough situation.
Right, because other sports are dealing with similar issues, especially looking at the NFL. It's a topic we've talked about a lot, just on the news, everything that's happening with that. Okay, I know obviously you're huge into racing, but outside of racing, what sports are you into?
Oh, I like golf. That's fun for me. That's how I sort of take my time to relax. So I play a little bit out here in the Scottsdale area. I enjoy that, and racing pretty much all other times.
Are you a spectator when it comes to any sport? Are you a big football, baseball fan?
Not really. I like to watch the NFL.
Yeah.
And I'm a big Kentucky basketball fan, so I'm having a pretty good season this year with the record, and I'll continue to follow that tournament and just the big events, not really anything over the top.
You're busy.
Yeah, I'm busy. I got to go to the racetrack right now. I'm so busy. So.
Let's see. Michael, are all the penalties for Smoke the reason why he's calmed down? Rachel's asking. I miss seeing him give the pace car some bump drafts.
Nah, he's back. He's really a fun guy, and he's got a lot of energy, and he likes to torment and aggravate people, and I think that we've seen him in the garage area doing that again. I think he's just his leg injury was really tough, and the accident that he was involved in up in New York was really hard on him, but I think he's been able to persevere, and he'll be back.
All right. Well, just a few more questions. I know you have to go in a few minutes, but let's see. Jeff Hastings is asking, who is the up-and-coming driver to keep an eye on? Who's the next big thing?
Oh, Eric Jones is the one that everyone will talk about. He's running some Xfinity races in the full truck series. He's really good. Cole Custer is a 16-year-old that I talked about that won up in New Hampshire this past season in the truck series. And John Hunter Nemechek is the son of Joe Nemechek, who's a longtime NASCAR racer and Xfinity Series champion. He's got a really bright future ahead of him as well. A kid that's running some Cup stuff now and Xfinity is Ryan Blaney. Ryan is very talented too, and look for a lot out of him.
Cool. Okay. Let's see. Is the Earnhardt in the Xfinity race related to Junior?
Yeah, it's his cousin. I have to go to the track now. Bye.
Thanks so much. Is there anything else, like if people want to find you here locally, will they see
like
you at the
my
race?
hotel or something?
No. If they head on over this weekend.
Yeah, I'm there all weekend, and you can follow me on Twitter. I'm MW55, or Instagram. I'm MWR55. So I'm around.
You're around. You're here in Phoenix. You love Phoenix.
Yeah, I do. It's a great place to come visit.
And you'll be here through the weekend?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Well, thanks so much for joining us and
You're
answering
welcome.
all the viewer questions. Viewers, thanks so much for submitting your questions. And by the way, I saw you guys were cooking up something in the kitchen.
That's the carburetor crunch, and it's amazing. They have them at the racetrack. It's at the Phoenix International Raceway Carburetor Crunch. It's about this big, and it'll feed a family of 4.
Okay, for those of the viewers that aren't local and didn't tune in, what exactly is
It's a
this?
peanut butter and jelly sandwich encrusted in Captain Crunch with a banana and bacon on it with caramel sauce. How's that sound? I'm sinking in my chair.
I
as
understand
speak.
why it feeds a family of 4. That's the caloric value a family of 4 should take in for one day.
That's exactly right. About 900 of them.
Oh my gosh. Well, thank you so much. I
Sure.
really appreciate it.
Have a great day.
Thank you.
I'm off to the races.
Oh, yeah.
Sure. You got it.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Thank you.
Bye. All right, guys. Thanks again.